Well, good morning, Yulia.
Good morning.
I am so excited to have you on our podcast, The Mindset Champion. And I could not be happier to have you share your story and get to know you a little bit better and let others that will listen get to know you better and how you can help them in their real estate lives through your thinking and experiences in life too. And so I practice this. I practice it. It's Yulia Hazanov. Whew, I think I got the last
Oh,
name.
yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
you got it right. 2 points for that.
Okay, we're off to a good start.
Yes.
And from Keller Williams, what a great company that is. Produced so many good agents and people that really love people. And we can
Yeah.
see that about you too. So we're going to learn a little bit more. Can you tell us a little bit about what led you into real estate and how long have you been working in real estate?
Yeah, certainly. So I have an interesting journey because it's kind of like one thing led to another. So, I mean, I lived for the longest in Southern California, and I've been always working with customer service. So it's always was like managing, clothing store or some kind of like businesses, and all being like director of operations. It's always people. It's like a lot of different cosmetics, and
Oops, we're kind of losing the connection here, I think.
we had two major locations in Beverly Hills and Hollywood. Retail was working over yet. What is the connection?
Okay, yeah, we had a little connection problem. So let's see here.
Getting it then?
Yeah, we missed some of the opening there. So what I can cut this back, but so maybe if you want to start from the interesting journey part. I've had an interesting journey
Okay.
and go on from there.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, it's actually a pretty interesting journey. It's kind of like one thing led to another, and it's happened pretty organically for me, which is great because it feels like that was the step in my life. That's what was meant to be. So after, working in the customer service industry for many, many years, actually, in all aspects of it, including like managing like a business or like a clothing store, which was great. And then I worked at the beauty industry for quite a bit, like with cosmetics, makeup, skincare. I had all these different brands where I used to work with. And I had a lot of clients coming in from it. So it was great and fun because I truly loved that. But that was still when the beauty industry was still very hot, with the cosmetics and all the products when people used to come to the store, before Amazon took over,
Oh yeah.
and then eventually when Amazon was pretty big, people are like, gotten lazy and kind of
Right.
stopped coming to the stores, and I mean, I can say I'm like one of these people guilty of such.
Sure.
So that's when things kind of like started going like downhill in the beauty industry. So, but I love the aspect of helping people, and the gratitude you get from it and them coming back for me. So, and I always knew that I love homes. So I used to go sometimes with my a few investor clients, and they've been always looking at like some properties that looked kind of disheveled and like something that needed work. So I'm like,
Right.
this is interesting that instead of buying beautiful homes, these people are looking for like ugly homes. And I
Yeah.
was thinking like it's kind of fascinating. It's like a reverse psychology. So I was trying to get more into it, and then I realized it's a huge market for it. And
Absolutely.
I'm like, wow, this is like genius because I mean, it's like they're improving our infrastructure and eliminating the ugly ones to the pretty ones. So I'm like, okay, I'm loving it. And then I got my real estate license officially in 2018, and I was
Okay.
working since then. I was working, yeah, with like investors, and I was pretty good with like finding those, places, communicating with people. And then for like, deciding like taking it like very seriously, I moved to the Bay Area from LA, from the Southern California, moved to the Bay Area. I wanted to see what's the market is like out there, you know. We always hear about like Silicon Valley and all these tech
Yeah.
people, you know. So you think, oh my God, it's going to be like a crazy hot market. You know, people have the funds, you know. So that's what I decided to do, which was a great experience for me because, I mean, you would think that it's all one state, California. I mean, it's pretty big, right?
Right.
But it's like two different markets, you know, it's almost like two different states, like
Yeah.
literally.
North and
Southern
south.
California, yeah, and Northern California is like so different, like the people, the culture, the weather, you know, the way they like have the rules going on, you know. So I'm like, wow, this is like eye-opening, you know. And yeah, and that's how I started. I mean, I was doing like a lot of door knocking, you know, because obviously I didn't know many people out
Yeah.
there.
It's one of the best
Yeah,
ways.
but
Get out there, knock
it's one
on
of the
doors.
best ways. Yeah. And then I would like pick one day, I would pick like a certain city. I'm like, okay, today I'm gonna explore more about the city and at the same time get to know the people, you know. So that's like you kill two birds at once, you know. I would drive around downtown and all like the exciting places around and then meet the neighbors. So
Yeah.
that's how I got a few of my early listings, you know. And it felt really interesting, you know, it feels great. And yeah, everything got me from there. But, you
That's
know, it's
amazing.
also, yeah, yeah, but I want to say that it's really important also who you work with, you know,
Yeah.
um, especially as a beginner, you know, someone that needs to get the experience, the
Yeah. Tell
knowledge.
us a little bit about that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, Keller Williams was excellent company. And it's just a great company for like beginners. If you're getting into real estate, I mean, you need to get all the information, the knowledge you can get, you know?
Right.
And not every company provides that.
They have a
Some
great training program.
great training, you know, but some companies do, but it's a very on the surface level, you know, it's like it's not into the depth of it, you know, like not
Mhm.
so comprehensive. So that's why Keller Williams won for me in that aspect, you know. I first joined a couple of before I even joined them, you know, the great aspect you can like shop around and look around and I mean, it was mind blowing, you know, the courses, the classes, the people, you know, the culture. Like I would go to like to top agents over there and speak with them, and they were like so open, you know,
Yeah.
like
Sharing.
really sharing, you know, and I really appreciated that, you know.
Oh, that's amazing. I work with probably half of the realtor partners that I work with are KW agents.
Mhm.
And I've been into their offices. I've seen their training programs. A good friend of mine, Kim, she's actually one of their trainers for one of the largest offices down here, KW in Irvine. And it's just amazing to see how hard they work at producing good knowledge, good programs. But you know what? Um, you started real estate just before a pandemic, and then
Yes.
pandemic hits and the market changed and you know some weird things hit us. What pivots or what adjustments have you had to make during these challenging times to be successful?
Yeah, great question. Was an interesting time for me because I was able to get it going really fast, got a few deals going, and then we had the pandemic, you know, everything
Mhm.
changed. But during the pandemic, you know, where I was at the time, it was so hot. So it was a crazy hot market.
Yeah.
I ended up switching from working with sellers to working with buyers
Mm,
because the interest rates got me so low, remember? It
right.
was like as low as like 2.5. One of my clients got it like at 2.5%,
Oh yeah.
you know, which is historically low, you
Right.
know. And it was crazy. It was like buyers, like I remember like going to showing once one couple an open house, and I had other people like approaching me wanting to see the same house. And they would like pouring in, you know, and then like looking for a presentation, you know, can you work with us? You know, we want to submit an offer. So it was like a crazy house, but it was wonderful, you know.
Yeah,
It was like the pandemic actually was one of the best times.
I agree.
Yeah. And we would go and but the challenging part, of course, was because of the multi-offer situation. So we've had to submit like an offer within like 30 other offers, And that one of the things also where you develop skills, like how can you stand out from the crowd, as an agent, doing the fiduciary duty to your client. You want them, I mean, they want to get the house, you want them to get it. Like, how can you stand and have your offer accepted rather than somebody else's?
Yes.
And I was like, thinking about ways, discussing with other people, looking here and there. And, you know, we've got lucky, with a few properties. It's really all about communication. You really have to communicate with the listing agent from the beginning until the end, and be transparent, build like a relationship. It was great. And then with your clients as well, and push them, how bad do you want this property? How bad, And then they're like, yeah, we want it really bad. Okay, now you need to then come up with some more,
Yeah.
and that's how you motivate them.
Well, that's really good. And unfortunately and sadly, a lot of real estate agents left the business when it got tough. A lot of
Yeah.
lenders left the business when it got tough. But you know what? We're still here. We're still
Yeah.
grinding every single day, helping clients. And during a slow market, what are we doing? We're out there knocking on doors. We're out there
Mm-hmm.
marketing, increasing our marketing right now. We're
Yeah.
hiring people to get them ready because we know the boom is coming. Rates are starting. There will be decreases this year,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to be ready for that. We are ready for that. So I love hearing what adjustments you've made because that's why you're here. You're still here while unfortunately our colleagues are not.
Yeah.
And when this boom hits again, and we're already starting to see it, my busy realtors are really busy right now, and we're ready. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for you. I think it leads me into really the whole theme of this podcast is the mindset of a champion. You've made adjustments so that you're here and you're successful, but to you, Julia, what does having the mind of a champion really mean to you? And how can that lead to success, that mindset of a champion?
I would think that it's all the little things that you do that lead
Mm,
to the big thing, because you cannot like achieve all of a sudden those big sales, and have people like, calling you, I want you to represent me. It's all these little activities that you've been doing in the past, that will eventually lead to that. So the mindset is basically believing in
mm,
yourself, believing that you can do it, and do those activities every day. Like, I mean, of course, we all have some days where we feel a little like demotivated, or a little down,
right.
but just make sure that you do at least something, some of these things. You feel like not doing any calls today. Well, instead of like doing 50 calls, just do maybe like 10 calls.
Yeah.
Follow up with those people that you know already, go out there, maybe network, meet a couple of people, tell them you're in the business, give them your business card. So I would love doing stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
Have your badge on. I would have like my badge on, and people would look at your badge and what you do, and you see them like noticing, paying attention, and
Hmm.
conversations.
Yeah. That's so important. You know, when I think of a champion, I think of a winner. I
Mm.
think of people that grind. And when you look at champions, and whether it's Olympic champions, football champions, whatever it is, um, it's what separates a winner from others. And
Mhm.
it's because they never stop. To your point, they do something every single day. They keep pushing themselves to new limits. They work hard to get rid of self-doubt, self-limiting ideas. They don't listen to other people who are negative, right? They seem to run in packs with people that have a strong mindset.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you know we do here as well. Is we're very selective who we work with. because mindset is everything.
Yeah.
If we get one bad apple, one bad mindset that wants to come in, it can be a. On the other hand, if we get really good mindsets of people that are, super positive and hardworking, well, then we've got something good. So I appreciate you sharing that. And I just have one last question for you. What advice would you have to someone who's maybe just starting the business as a realtor, or perhaps they've been in it, but maybe they feel a little lost? What advice would you have to them to help them be successful in 2024 and moving forward?
Hmm. So I think as a starter, it's really important who you um, mix yourself with, who's around you, you know? So always make sure you're around like-minded people, people that you can learn from, and just basically be like a sponge, because at the beginning that's how you have to be. Just observe here, there, even if, let's say, sometimes you don't agree with somebody, but it's just a different perspective.
Yeah,
So I think this is one of the best, because then you get their energy, you observe it, and then you develop your own. You just like thinking, okay, what's makes sense for me, what's not, I'm going to adopt this thing, this one is not so much. So it's just, being around like-minded people, and that's what's going to give you the energy, the motivation. Go to networking events,
mhm,
go to your office,
yeah,
communicate with like top agents, get somebody with productivity coaching that could maybe, help you with some like daily activities, can help guide you, tell you like maybe if you are like feel like you're too lost, have them, just give you a daily, kind of deeds to do.
that's
And
really good.
yeah,
Super
and go
helpful.
from there. And also listening to, while driving, listening to podcasts
Yes.
such as this.
That's I can't wait for everybody to listen to this because
Yeah.
how wise. That is so such good encouragement. Instead of, turning on the radio and listening to the same old songs or whatever, put a podcast on. Put something that
Hmm.
will nourish our mind,
Yeah.
right? So that we can now share with others and help nourish minds. Champions flock to other champions. And
Right.
that's just a fact. Winners flock to winners, champions flock to champions. And you said it, you nailed it right on the head. If you want to be a champion, if you want to be a winner, you go ask and you go talk to other champions and winners.
Hmm.
Get their story, their struggle, what they've done, and what you're doing, Julia. You are working hard. You're a grinder in this business. You care about people. You care about your clients. I will highly refer you. And obviously, we're here, to help in any way possible, whether it's buyer educations or co-marketing and whatever help you need. We're always here too. But we're grateful for hardworking realtors like yourself.
Likewise, thank you. And me too. Always looking for great people from the industry, to collaborate with, to refer my client to, people that like easygoing, that can be responsive. Sometimes I have a situation where I have to call you right away, we're in the middle of writing an offer, can
Yeah,
you like help me crunch some numbers?
absolutely. 11
You
o'clock at
know,
night. My phone rings sometimes. I answer it.
that's
Like, hello, how can I help?
so you see that's what I'm looking for. And
Yeah.
that's because we never stop working.
No,
Like,
no, we don't.
even on vacation,
No,
I mean,
it's true. It's, I think for me is just a little disclosure here is people know me as the lender that always answers his phone. I always answer my phone, and that could be in the form. Let's say I've got 3 phone calls since we started this podcast, and I just simply sent a message. I says, I'm in a podcast. I will call back immediately. I
mhm,
say something. Otherwise, I
yeah.
pick up my phone every single time. That alone has set me apart from thousands of lenders. People say, I can never get a hold of my lender, or he calls me back 3 days later. And I'm like, how do you do that in this market, especially? You know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a. So I'm so happy to have you have joined us today, Yulia Hazanov from Keller Williams, and you have the mindset of a champion. And I look forward to our next podcast, and look forward to having you back with us.
Likewise, thank you very much for having me. And if there is anyone that needs also, I speak other languages too. I speak Russian, I speak Hebrew, can communicate in Spanish. So I would love to help people of all kinds. That's
We love that. You will be our go-to for that for sure. All right. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. It was
Thank
great.
you.